Alright, I can hear you now. But ding. Yeah, just in time.
Yeah. I'm, I'm still in the process of making sure everything's all in track.
You're
My
popular.
phone is now
It's fine.
muted. Oh no! What can I say?
Look,
It's fine.
you had to start off the session with something. Like you do it all the time.
Yeah, everybody does. So, hello and welcome back to Crabby D&D. I am here with Cat,
Hi.
Kirv,
Hello.
Kay,
Hello.
Vinny,
Hello.
and Romulus.
Greetings.
So, I think we should just get straight on with this because most of this is going to be quite simple. For the most part,
Yes.
anyway. And we will see what you do. And I hope you're all prepared. What comes next? One thing that I will say before we continue, because I did forget, the tournament isn't tomorrow in game, it's the day after. It's the last day of the festival, not the middle. So, I got that wrong in terms of when the last sign-up time was, but still. And also, just because I forgot to say it in planning, Kirv, if you did want to apply for the tournament, you'll have to do that in character, so you've got until tomorrow 5 PM to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we all ready? Yes?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Aye, Captain.
Okay, then. Welcome back.
Captain.
I think we should get right into this before it gets too bad. I've already had enough fanfic with Blendoir Bonk being given to me. Last session, our party of trouble seekers, Cat, Kay, Kirv, Romulus, and Vinny, had enjoyed a nice rest until midday, before they spent the rest of their day being robbed and running some errands. Now, with the enjoyment of what festivities lie before them, the party have now either prepared to go to sleep in some cases, or enjoy the night ahead. So, who was actually going to be going to the or enjoying the festivities tonight?
I was.
I'll go and check them out.
Or should I say, is anybody not?
Sorry, the festivities? Question mark.
Yes, throughout the day and since yesterday you heard that there were festivities going around the city. There is a traditionally international event known as Tulia's Step that is currently being celebrated currently.
Tulia's Step.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to check it out.
Oh, did
I
you
believe it's a dance similar to the funky chicken.
Oh, Kay's gonna find an eating competition.
Okay, so I'll say for those of you who don't know or don't remember this festival from before, go ahead and roll me a history check. For those who would, I'll say, Kirv, you're the only one who's not allowed, given you're not from around here.
Okay.
History. Well, there you Alright. Well,
Oh, look, unless this is the horny festival, I don't remember it. By which I mean the Minotaur festival where we celebrate our horns.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's canon now, Chris.
Yeah, it's not.
23?
23? Okay.
13.
13. So,
15 for me.
okay. So, Vinny and Kay, you two know this festival because you've experienced it once before for UK, but you've otherwise experienced it quite a few times, Vinny. The festival, otherwise accompanied by Nelson's Rhythm, is a festival that is traditionally used to celebrate poets and artists and various artistry and entertainers' work. Nelson's Rhythm is all about song making, poetry writing, and more verbal expressions of art, whereas Tulia's Step is more about physical representation of art, things such as dancing, or painting. A lot of things to do with the creativity. They are 3 days back to back across 6 days total. Those are the things you generally know. Romulus, you've never really experienced these festivals before, as you never really celebrated them, so for you it's kind of
Would I
a
know
dead end.
at least vaguely what it's about?
Yeah, you know vaguely that it's about, one's about music and one's about dancing, as far as you're concerned. Cat, you know that the festivals in question are supposedly representations of forces and powers of the cosmere. Creatures that otherwise have provided art and power and creativity through various means. Their names change depending on region that you go to, but their festivities are always celebrated. With your high roll, you understand that this is also a celebration and festival that takes place outside of your own plane for the most part. People do celebrate it, but not as commonly.
Cool.
Okay.
So no food eating.
There will be food eating because you are in the section of the part of it where you'll be seeing the physical representation of art, also known as cooking.
You can create your own food. Stops.
I
Normal
already do
food.
that.
Oh, why must you tempt me so? I wanted to be a bitter old man. But art, cookery. Ah!
I will say, given that you have spent most of the day doing stuff, you otherwise arrive probably, I'll say, at 8 p.m.ish. You head outside and after reconvening back at the inn and heading out into the cloud window that you're currently in, you otherwise look around and you can see that people have put up lights that are currently lit, kind of the bright crystal lights, small flecks of magical dancing lights which some of you can recognize just hanging in the air around. An increased level of guards, as you would expect from any festivities, but people have stands up with food around. You can see what looks to be kind of pots of otherwise heated food with bits of steam otherwise rising off of them, bowls and spoons to go with, a few what looks to be kebabs that are currently being turned over, what looks to be these rather large kind of spiked crystals pointed towards the meat. You can see all manner of individuals currently dancing to what looks to be entertainers performing music. The night before you missed all of this because you were performing a heist and then got sent to jail. So you missed all of this on the yesterday, but you have the night available to you.
He's running up to the closest person. That's not the party.
That's not the party. Okay. Is this also including the 2 guards who are with you?
Yes. No. Wait. Maybe they might know? Hey, you! Just saying it to one of the guards.
Hmm?
Do you know if there's a food eating competition?
There's probably plenty of food eating competitions. Why?
I must find one.
Okay. I'd recommend trying any of the major taverns. I mean, your own inn will probably be participating in one at least, but when, I'm not sure.
I'm going to all of them.
Right. Well, if the rest of your party are coming with, we can hit a bunch of taverns and inns on the way round, or explore slowly. It's up to you.
As long as it's free food, I'm in.
So grab Romulus' hand. I want to do some cooking and some dancing. Yeah?
I think that's an excellent idea. I'll handle the cooking, you handle the dancing.
Can I help?
Of course. By dancing. No. Yeah, indeed. But you must do exactly as I tell you.
Exactly as you tell me. Okay, gets notebook out. Exactly as he tells me.
Oh,
Okay,
why am I
imitate
filled
Rom-
with such fear?
Kay imitates Romulus's voice. Lots of spices.
Lots of spices.
I don't know, that was not me, that was Kay. You can see Kay talking. The
Can you
little
make
mask moves up and down, yes.
No, it doesn't.
Make me a stealth check.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't move up.
I know it doesn't move up and down because you have a mask on, but go ahead and roll me a stealth check just to see if
Okay,
Cat
you're
notices.
telling me that when Kay's mouth moves, there is absolutely zero
Oh
movement?
no, it moves, but he's wearing a mask, remember?
Natural 20.
Oh, fuck off.
Natural 20 as well.
That's,
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll. There's no way I
Even
get a
with,
natural 20, but I'm gonna roll.
no, even with a natural 20, your +5 from perception would not be able to beat Kay's stealth. So, no, in this instance,
No.
Kay imitates your voice. Cat writes it down, and there's no proof that it was Kay. You're not even sure yourself at this point.
Oh.
I didn't say that. I am certain that I did not say that.
Oh, you're just playing around with me.
I am not playing rather. There are demons about.
Oi!
Objectively, you're fiendkin, but specifically devilkin. If we're still going by how that works in
Yeah,
this world, but it's not yet that. Oh, I'm
It
so
would be
confused.
devil-
My brain's
devilkin.
turning
Hell,
to potato.
don't confuse them about us even more than they already are.
You're just horny people.
Yeah.
We're
They're
all
not
horny
just
people here.
people.
You're the weird one.
We are.
Look, I'll eat something that'll give me horns, okay?
All right, you do that.
You guys actually have food that gives you horns?
Probably.
Maybe?
I mean, we don't. Kay is just weird.
Aha.
It sounds like something we'd do.
Alright, anyways, food, competition, go.
so you're splitting up. What are you doing?
Well, they just want to cook and dance, so...
Kirv wants to go to all you can eat.
I would like to stop by the areas that deal with painting.
Okay, so Romulus will be going, stopping by attractions along the way. I'll presume Cat's going with.
Yeah.
Kay
Is
and
there somewhere we
Kirv are
could do
going
some
to
carving?
taverns.
Like wood carving.
Quite possibly. I mean, again, it's more of an explore and see what you see. That's why it's 3 days, so you can see all manner of things.
Okay. Also, if there's a chance, I'd like to do some carving. If there's a chance.
Okay. And Vinny, where are you headed?
I was going to look around and see if I can find some places where music is being played.
Okay. So
Listening.
I will say you're going to be going with looking for attractions with Cat and Romulus then.
Sure.
So I will say we will begin with the attraction seekers. So you lot, or you three, otherwise begin to travel around the city streets at various places. You can see individuals who are currently creating bits and pieces. It mostly seems to be food, and there seems to be sales going on regarding that. You can see a few of the regular shops have opened up their fronts and are running kind of late night sales with kind of open front stands, selling various bits and pieces, some open craft going on here or there. So there would be wood carvers about. Same sort of thing with painters, and you can see there's quite a few who are currently doing painting. You can see stands where individuals are doing hair dressing and hairstyling. You can see individuals doing what looks to be face paints. You can see individuals doing kind of open-ended tattoos. So there's a lot going on the creative side of things. So if you wanted to get involved in painting, Romulus, there are several places which are portraying and showing painting. As far as competitions go, it seems to be that it's a select group of people who have been basically put up on stage to paint against one another.
I'm fine not looking at the competitions really, though I may give them a brief skim. My main focus, I think, is going to be on like galleries and sort of things like that.
Okay.
Places where an enthusiast of painting might
Yes.
happen to go.
No, that's fair.
Mr. Bonk.
In which case, as you otherwise... Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yes, you finally see the...
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a
Well
d.
played.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. I'll say to see if you can find the gallery.
That is investigation, you said.
Mm-hmm.
That is a +1, so that is a 12.
Okay. Looking around, you can see what look to be areas where there are larger groups of paintings. And heading through, you can see there are what looks to be buildings that have been rented out for the purposes of this, either warehouses or storage units or something similar. And individuals have all put up artwork here. And you can see there's like a one-way system of people traveling through and around and otherwise enjoying the artwork in various places. As you go around, you're keeping an eye out for your crush, shall we say. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
To be clear, I'm also keeping an eye out for any artwork that appears to be of from the edge of the city, the view from the edge of the city.
Okay.
As I believe that is what he painted.
I will, in which case, incorporate this into your perception check, as you're perceiving for both.
Thank you kindly. Thank you.
Come on.
I'm afraid to say with my perception, that is only an 11.
Okay.
Can I help with this?
Were you going to look at painting? You were looking for carving specifically, weren't you?
Well, I'll be following Romulus everywhere. So if we've gone to do that, then it would be that. I wanted to know, so for the following day, we could possibly do some carving.
Okay. I
'cause
will
there's not
allow.
enough time today.
I will allow helping in the form of advantage here. Given, I'll say that Kat, you won't be looking for your crush because Benoit Blanc is not your crush. Or
No, he's not my crush.
Benoit Blanc, so it will be just Romulus who will get advantage here.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, nat 20. Oh, you know what? That is a dirty 20, and I will... No, a dirty 21, and I will take that.
Okay. Looking around, you can't seem to see any form of your detective that you're looking for. This is a large city with nearly 100,000 people. It's not a small place by any means. So as you're otherwise looking around, there doesn't seem to be, at this particular gallery, anything that does catch your attention. You do note that there are a number of paintings of the edge of the bridge, although they don't seem to be getting much attention. You imagine it's a view that quite a few people have seen, but there are quite a few paintings of the area and of that particular view. There are a number of what looks to be like someone's climbed onto the wall around the edge of the bridge and looked over and kind of drawn or painted the horizon. You can see a few in charcoal, you can see a few in paint, you can see all manner of methods throughout this. And as you're going through with your perception, I'll say that in this particular one, you see one which looks to be a bit more unique to the rest, an angle which is different. And as otherwise catches your attention, you wander over, you see what looks to be a painting of from the edge of the bridge looking out and over. You can see the trees in fine detail, you can see the rest of the landscape beyond with what looks to be a very well detailed oil painting in this. But the angle is off, it's different compared to the rest, as if it's taken from somewhere not on the wall, but somewhere higher than. And as you otherwise have a look at it, you can see that it seems to be an anonymous submission. Catches your attention as something odd.
Fucker. Are you sure that there's not a sign-off with at least a signature?
There's a
Anywhere
sign-off,
on it?
but it's more difficult to read cursive.
Can I try to work out anything? Even just like the first letter.
I will say, go ahead and roll me an investigation check with disadvantage, unless you're going to point this out to Kat, and Kat's going to try and help.
Cat, I don't suppose you can tell what that says, what with you being very clever and that. Can I make it without disadvantage now?
What
go
am I
for it.
rolling?
Investigation from Romulus, either a singular roll or both of you with disadvantage.
I'm happy with whatever you feel is best. I'm going to say both of us with disadvantage is probably
My
more accurate.
investigation's +7.
Anything that involves you rolling seems a better idea.
So both of you have disadvantage then.
Right.
Mhm.
You're pressing the
Double
wrong
nat
button,
ones?
Jamie.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, that one's cocked.
You pick it up and
It's
drop it.
5 and 5. Well, that's still 12.
12.
Mm.
And well, I got another 5, which makes it 6 for me.
6. Otherwise, between the two of you looking at this, it's written in such a way that it's too curvy to really make out any of the letters. There might be a C in there. It's probably the best you can get.
Okay. Can I at least memorize this signature?
If you want to try and go ahead and make me a history check.
I
Are
know
you
what?
proficient in calligrapher's tools?
Actually, can
I
I
am not, but Kat,
copy
could
this
you?
into my notebook?
Yes, could you
So I
please
am
do so?
taking Romulus notes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Could you
copying
please
into your
copy
notebook.
that exactly?
Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check then, please. Actually, no, this would be a calligrapher's tool specifically, so make me a calligrapher's tools check using dexterity. If you don't have proficiency, just use your dexterity modifier.
I do. What am I adding to this?
Are you proficient in calligrapher's tools?
I believe that's the one that I took because I do runes. Hang on.
Is
hang on,
it
let me go
should be in your character
core.
sheet. Yeah, it should be in the core of your character sheet.
Rune binding, wild magic, alchemy, recovery. No, right, hang on. No,
It will be in the middle bottom of your character sheet, next to or above armor and languages.
proficiency.
Yeah.
I've got nothing in there.
So then you wouldn't have it.
Oh no, hang on. Yep, no, above that, tools and proficiency, calligrapher.
Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, in which case you would roll with your dexterity plus proficiency.
Okay, so that is 8 plus dexterity. Proficiency is 3. Dexterity is 3, so 8 plus 6.
It's 14. Okay. Oh, so you copy it down well enough that it would be memorable and easy to identify in the future.
Cool.
And it looks similar enough to this to be noticeably the same word, even if it is imperfect. Like
Relatively similar, yeah.
Okay. That's all that matters. I just need it to match well enough. And I am going to be attempting to imprint this into my memory, so I will history check it as well, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you proficient in calligrapher's tools?
God, no, of course.
So
I'm
this is
fucking
just
not.
so I'll say this is just an intelligence check then.
That 20 is taunting me. So yes, that is a history. That is a +1, so a 9.
Okay.
I've got. To me, that says I've got the vague idea of what it looks like, so I'd recognize it.
Yeah, you've got it written down, so you'll probably you'll refer to that more than you'll refer to your memory. But yeah. Okay. So you otherwise have a look around the rest of the gallery. It's a very nice gallery as far as you're concerned. There's a lot of different paintings, a lot of different styles. Before otherwise leaving and heading back out, I'll say that you've got Hazel with you, and Vinny's off somewhere enjoying some concert. Speaking of Vinny, as you're traveling around, there are a number of people performing music, but they seem to only be performing music for the purposes of dance. There doesn't seem to be as much creative verbal poetry or otherwise busking, entertaining, or musicianing in any particular manner. There's not any of that. You gather from what you know of the festival that probably would have been a few days ago or yesterday, so you've missed out on that one, unfortunately. For the main part, there would be individuals performing music for dance purposes only, but yeah.
Okay, well that would still be good to listen in on.
Okay. Yeah, kind of go into one of the main kind of cloud windows. You kind of stand at the edge of the crowd. A bunch of people are dancing. What looks to be couples, children, old people, individuals who have all enjoyed the festivals from previous years, or it's their first time, and they are simply letting loose and dancing in the street. There are a number of guards that are otherwise standing at the edge. A few of them are kind of tapping their feet and nodding, and sometimes one of the guards is kind of pulled in, and they very much enjoy the festivities and hanging around and such. As you're otherwise looking around in this particular space, you do know that there are mixed guard presences. some which seem to be more notable, such as the Watchman, while there are others which look to be ones like, look to be more mercenary style individuals traveling to and from.
Interesting. What's the name of the not quite mercenary group? The Golden Crusaders, was it?
Yes, Golden Crusaders is one of them. I would say, from your general knowledge of this place, from being here for a few days and otherwise knowing, that there is at the very least a handful of different mercenary companies. Just the most notable ones are the Watchmen, who are the main guard here, and the Golden Crusaders, who are the rich people's guard. Those are the two that you know about. But I would say from knowledge of the dark alleys and other stuff around here, either just picking it up through natural hearsay, there are more individuals around here that deal with bits and pieces.
Interesting. But they don't seem to have noticed anything that they feel they need to deal with.
No, not in this instance. There seem to be quite a lot of different uniforms and individuals traveling to and from. So you gather, I'd say, just from this one experience and kind of looking around, that there's a good 3 or 4 different mercenary companies in this cloud window alone. Spread that across the entire city, and there's probably a good 10, maybe a dozen.
Okay. Right. Well, in that case, then, I'm going to continue listening, try and take in some more of the atmosphere.
Okay. It's generally very upbeat, and it's very positive and just nice to relax and enjoy listening into this as this is taking place. All manner of individuals just enjoying the festivities in their different ways, but it's nice to take in. It's nice to just kind of kick back and relax for a little bit. Meanwhile, Kay and Kirv. So, you are otherwise heading with Locke. So, there are a number of taverns and inns that you could possibly go to. Would you like me to read off a few of them and then you decide, or would you like to take it by chance and roll a dice?
Curve wouldn't have really anything to go off of, so she's happy to either do what Kay would like to do or just roll for random.
You know what? Let's go random. Let's
Okay.
randomize it.
Go ahead and roll me a d6 if you please. So there are a few of these which you can't get to because of their location.
1.
1. Top one on the list. Okay. Takes you a little while to get there, but otherwise traveling through the city, you're enjoying the bits and pieces of the area around and all that, and all of this particular festivities. You travel up a layer into what would be the main lantern hallways, where it's more of a timber walkways and houses on the left and right, and kind of an enclosed, 2-person width walkway traveling to and from. You see what looks to be all manner of different individuals traveling to and from, neighbours kind of talking out of windows, lanterns hanging from the layer above, as you otherwise walk through, the watchman with you, his lantern otherwise glowing at his side, before you reach what looks to be a little bit more of a, not necessarily an opening, but an area which is absent of a building on your right hand side. And you can see that on your left, which would be opposing it, what looks to be a rather large and decorated doorway in front to a tavern known as the Oiled Pickle. You see that it is otherwise... You see that it is otherwise a dusty, what looks to be steel and timber building. You are currently at the 2nd story of this building, the rest of it being below, from what you can generally tell. You can hear the sound of festivities, and you can see that from its exterior that it is relatively well maintained for the most part, but it's not.
Well oiled.
Yes, shall we say? It has a sense of age to it. It's been here for quite some time. At this particular entrance, as you're otherwise led to it, you can see that the doors are otherwise partly open, and there's kind of chatter and noise coming from the interior. Light is streaming out onto the lantern hallways from this particular layer.
Let's see. Well, as good a place as any, I suppose.
What kind of food do you think they've got?
I'd guess pickles, but
What's a pickle?
you know, it's like a green vegetable. Tastes alright, I guess.
It tastes alright. Well, I've got to try this.
Okay. You head inside into what would be the upper floor of this building. You can see that it is otherwise well kept, and upon entering, you see that there are two watchmen currently standing on the interior. Well, not necessarily standing. One is sitting, and the other one is standing by the doorway. You can see that it's decorated with a wooden paneling, with beautiful decoration on the floor. You can see a few vases in alcoves to the right and left. And you can see what looks to be these large square patterns and bits that make up the floor. And on in the center of each of them, very decoratively and systematically placed, are a bunch of square tables. You can see a large number of them are filled, and you can see this what looks to be a bar that otherwise curves in an L shape, hiding off one section of this particular room. You can see there are a number of individuals filling this particular tavern and inn, and the smells that are otherwise wafting to you are that of old ale and freshly made food.
Follow the smell of the food.
Okay. Heading further in. Switch to this one. Heading further in, and I'll say taking a seat at one of the main seats, what looks to be rather scrawny goblin fellow otherwise rushes up to you and goes, "Table for two, then?"
Yes.
Is this the eating competition?
This is indeed, love. We've got ourselves some interesting folk who have come by tonight, but if you make your name on that board, you'll be able to walk away without paying a penny for your food. And he points to what looks to be a large chalkboard with a number of names on, and you can see that there's a number of individuals who have been written on there with a score, and you can see the score goes up to about 13 as its highest. But you note that there are a number of tables around and people who have otherwise been handed like these massive platters of food and are otherwise eating them, and you see as one kind of pair of people seem to resign. Then the individual with them kind of shakes their head and they ask to pay up, and several gold is handed over for the food, it seems.
Yes, I like this. Alright, you said the highest one's 13?
Yep.
Alright, I know where I'm stopping then.
23. You don't have to make checks.
I don't. That's the best part about this. I can just decide when I want to stop.
So, you're both here for the eating competition then?
Yes.
Indeed.
Excellent. Rules are rules. You have to take off your mask. No hiding food. Me. Watchman's posted up nearby and is currently conversing with the other two.
Just a heads up, I look a little different than most people, so...
Don't we all? I am most people.
Are you?
No, not at all.
I would like to see if... I would like to make an insight to see if it seems like he would be fine with just about anybody.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay. You can tell from his general demeanor, he is a goblin. Goblins, granted you don't know too much about them, but you have heard that they are more often things that attack caravans of traders and individuals on your guard duty that you've had for the 7 months before you started adventuring. So the fact that he's quite open about being a goblin means very little.
Alright, I will take off my mask.
Okay. You otherwise take off his mask. He otherwise goes, interesting. No, this should be fun. And you watch as he otherwise takes what looks to be this bit of putty and just slams it onto the table. Takes a small flag and sticks it into the top, and you hear a jeer from a nearby table as they otherwise look over and see the two of you sat at what looks to be a competitor's table, but near the center of the room.
Yeah.
The goblin otherwise turns around. Order up! And you watch as from behind the bar, this massive, what looks to be a fluxion of some form of earth and water, mud elemental individual otherwise stands around, long streaky strands of brown hair that hang down the back of his neck, just below his shoulders. You can see a dark stained black leather coat that otherwise covers his bulky shoulders and otherwise muscular arms. You can see that around his waist what looks to be a loose apron with kind of splatters and stains on it, and a leather belt that is otherwise holding it in place. There is no notable shirt on this individual, and you can see kind of these gentle trickles of what looks to be almost like oil or mud streaking down his chest. He otherwise looks over, gives a nod to the goblin, who otherwise rushes over and otherwise begins carrying this large platter of food back and places it on your table. All right, dig in. Across the array of the round one of this, which for anybody else in the party, with maybe the exception of Romulus, this would be excessive food. So for the fact that the two of you are doing it, Kay's going to carry this by far. But
Fair.
as you otherwise look at the platter, you can see that it is covered in all manner of starters, as it would seem. You can see bits of bread, you can see kind of dips to go with, you see small bits of cut vegetables and slices of fruit here and there. But most notably, as you're otherwise looking around, you see what looks to be fresh fish, otherwise cut into small cubes and placed on top of crackers. An interesting delicacy, it would seem. Nothing particularly hot in terms of food-wise, but nice nonetheless. So, I would like both of you to roll me a Constitution saving throw, please. Well, Kay, you can't fail this physically because of your bottomless stomach trait. So I will say you can provide advantage to Kirv to see how long Kirv can remain within this.
Okay, Kirv, you get to have advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say, Kirv, you're taking it kind of delicately and slowly, like enjoying all the different foods and then scoffing down what's left, while Kay is just there shoveling it into his mouth.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
20.
natural 20, so I'll say this will cover round 1 and round 2. I'll just otherwise note that down real quick. So, as you otherwise begin to enjoy this, for you, Kirv, this is an explosion of so many different flavors. Even just the simple carrot sticks and bits of cucumber, which when Kay points out that you can dip them in other foods, is like, oh man, we can combine anything. To the point that occasionally you start making unholy combinations about the food, taking like slices of tomato and dipping it in hummus and then eating it and going like, oh, this is amazing. You're not used to this sort of food.
That unholy, is it?
No, I know. You start pulling all kinds of weird combinations from this and start mixing and matching food that most people don't, for the sake of reasons. And in this particular instance, as Kay, you're kind of helping, like consuming what Kirv has already tried. You make it through the first round nice and easily, and it's quite nice food. Moving into the second round, you move into what would be more of a general first course meal, as you are brought a gargantuan bowl of tomato soup.
Oh.
You see what looks to be not spoons but ladles and straws to go with
I'm
this.
100%.
We're talking punch bowl worth of tomato soup. You can see sprinklings of basil on the top. You can see that there are bits of bread to dip in and go with. And you're also brought drinks to go with as you proceed to tuck in and eat and drink. For you, Kirv, this is very nice. A very refreshing flavour. Something you're, again, not used to in any sense. But reminds you of your first course where you had a bit of tomato mixed with hummus in its own way. Beginning to enjoy these new and interesting flavours. Picking up on the herbs is something unique, and there's something different about this food compared to what you just ate, yet it tastes similar. Kay, on the other hand, your ladle isn't fast enough for you, but hey ho.
Oh, I'm drinking
Through the straw.
Actually,
Yeah.
if Kirv's not gonna use her straw, I'm using both straws.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So, with that, we move on to round 3. I would like again a Constitution saving throw with advantage from you, please, Kirv. As the third round is brought out, you then move from your starters into what looks to be the first of the mains. Total?
That is 15 plus. Oh gosh, sorry, it's been a while.
That's
It's
alright.
the left number, isn't it? Oh,
It will be the saving throw section.
saving throws. Plus 2.
Plus 2? Okay, with 17, you just pass the DC of 16.
Oh,
These are big meals. As you begin to look at what is brought to you, the platter of what looks to be a sizzling steak has been placed in front of you. What looks to be large numbers of cooked and roasted vegetables, otherwise drizzled in almost an excessive amount of oil, with an amount of herbs and various pieces to go with. You see there are a number of napkins to otherwise apply, as you have a large two-pronged fork to pick up one of your 4 stacked like pancake steaks. As you go through this, to you, eating meat is more accustomed, as that's what you're used to eating in hell. Although meat doesn't have a taste. And this is amazing for you. The flavours, the oils, the essence of all of this. It's frankly amazing. And when you start mixing and putting vegetables with the meat, it adds more to it. More complexity, more niceness. The meat isn't too chewy either. It's perfectly tender and falls apart almost as you begin to pick it up. Okay, to you, this is food. It's great food, by all accounts, but you know it's not going to fill you up. You've got plenty more to go. So, we now move on to round 4. Kirv, if you could please make another Constitution saving throw with advantage, please. Okay, that's an 18.
Mhm.
So now you make the DC of 18. It's gone up by 2. So round 4, as you begin to go through it, you note that the individuals who are what a lot of people have started taking note. 2 relatively scrawny individuals in comparison to a lot of the larger individuals who have otherwise come and joined the food competition. And by large, I don't mean round. I mean, we're talking giant folk who have otherwise come to join in these festivities. Large Fluxians and the occasional individual mixed in who seems to have something going for them in some manner or another, larger in the body mass sense. As you otherwise begin to observe this intriguing nature of what people are
I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
taking note of. Okay. As you're otherwise taking note of this and bringing in the 4th plate of food, you see what looks to be a otherwise large array of small tidbits of food, almost like small dollops of yogurts, it would seem. And upon further inspection, Kay, you note that these are gels, tiny gelatin balls of mixed flavours.
Back.
Welcome back. As you see, just describe what you just saw, a plate of what looks to be tiny dollops of gelatin balls all set up. And in a number of them, you can see what looks to be colours and sections of meat in a array of tiny gelatin pieces. It's bizarre and intriguing, and none of you have seen this sort of thing before. But Kay, it reminds you of you floating inside of a green slime back in or a putrid slime back in the sewers of Trenlor's Rest. Go ahead and roll me another Constitution saving throw, please, Kirv. Actually, no, that would be the next roll. Either way, you managed to get through this, and the tastes are very good for this. Okay, so you will fail the next one after this. The tastes are very good, and the meat flavors are enhanced by the kind of the beefy, brothy gel that goes with, and it runs smoothly down your throat, and it's a very nice flavor. Texture's a bit odd, but still. But Kay, you very much enjoy it. Kirv, you do to a certain extent, but it reminds you more of home, this one, compared to the steaks you just had. More of the slimy, wet meat. The next one, in this instance, which you fail on, unfortunately, Kirv, as you are otherwise sat there at the table, a large pot is brought to you with what looks to be a tuna. Currently shoved inside of it with slices of lime, lemon, parsley, rosemary, all sorts, is shoved into this massive stuffed tuna. As you begin to dig in, Kirv, for you, you're beginning to feel bloated and a bit unwell. You can either tap out or you can keep going, but the next failure will result in you throwing up.
Kirv is stupid. She's going to keep going.
Okay.
She doesn't know you can throw up too much food.
I mean, neither does Kay, so he can't warn her.
Okay, that's fair. So, I will say with this, feeling unwell. Okay, yeah, feeling unwell, you are made aware of what's going to be happening. I can say you will slow down for the purposes of eating.
Mm-hmm.
But, in essence, Kay, you end up eating most of this fish. Then you are reminded of the fish that is in your bag and... You know.
It's not.
Oh, no,
there's no
that's
fish
right.
in
You
it.
had to get... got rid of the fish, didn't you?
The most recent fish that I got was made.
Ah, yes. So, we move on to round 6. Kirv, please make me a Constitution saving throw with advantage. The DC has moved up to 22. So you need a natural 20. Otherwise, you will either be throwing up and or stopping. But as you know, we'll just be throwing up at this point, so... Unless you wish to say you stop before you roll. There is a point where your stomach begins to hurt from eating too much food, so... It's up to you.
What's funnier?
That's up to you.
I just imagine that she goes to take a bite of food and Kay just snatches it out of her hand.
She's too
realizing
slow.
what's about to happen. She's going too slow. It must be eaten.
You know what? I'm down for that. I'm down for that situation.
Okay. So in this
Yeah.
instance, we'll say you don't roll, but Kay is beginning to realise that you're too slow in eating your food, so he's beginning to eat it for you. So you back out on round 5, so you don't have to worry about paying for anything.
Cool. Sorry, can I just roll to see if I would have been okay?
Go for it. No,
No.
just as
Okay.
well.
I
So
feel better.
Kay, what round do you want to stop?
You know, I was thinking, and it might be going too far, but I don't care. I'm going to stop at 34 for my number.
Okay.
I'm going to be stopping at my number for the experiment thing.
Okay. So, going through these rounds, in this instance, you get through curries, pastas, various other meat dishes. After 10, they move into desserts. By the time you hit 13, or by the time you've hit 10, you have accumulated a crowd of people who are watching. And you're not gaining any size. And people are thinking, is this trickery or magic? What's going on? At which point, you do note that the Goblin otherwise comes over and kind of has a word and just goes, "You're not using any magic, are you, to get rid of this?"
No.
He kind of looks you up and down. What's his insight in this? Okay, natural 20, and goes, "Shit. Okay. Keep him coming."
Irvis just cheering the whole
I'm
thing.
sorry, my new favorite sound that has ever been made in any of our D&D sessions. Just that shit.
Okay, so you keep going through desserts of all manners, going through bits of cheesecake, trifle, various yogurts. It is a bizarre thing to watch a crowd go from really excited to really, really worried about Kay. People have invested themselves in this. And you know that there are other people coming in for the food competition and they're sitting down and nobody cares. And you note that at this point, after you get to 14 or 15, like the goblin comes back over and just goes, what should I write you down as name-wise?
K.
Got it. And he goes and you, otherwise, you watch as there's not necessarily a rejumbling of the names, but there is a section where they take another chalkboard and they slap it on top of the old, on the top of the old one, and they write K on there, and they don't write a number in yet. Time goes by, eventually running through, getting to 20, at which point they've run out of puddings, so they go back to starters. And they keep going through this. Eventually, reaching 34, you have rounded puddings again and end on a wonderful toffee cheesecake. When you decide it's time to stop. After you finish taking the last bite of it, the crowd cheers hesitantly as they, hey, and kind of looks at you, and then you kind of just sit back and place the spoon on the table. Just kind of pat your stomach. Is that a resignation?
Yes.
Mac 34! At which point you watch as the large Fluxian individual writes 34 on the chalkboard, and you just hear a jeer and cheer from everybody in the tavern at this instant. So, your cheeks
That's
hurt.
gotta be a free pass for life.
That's gonna be what, sorry?
A free pass for life. As in for this tavern.
What
Come
are
on.
you,
They can't do that because
are
Kay
you
would
saying,
even
are
make
you
use of
saying
this.
that out loud to the goblin?
Yeah.
We can arrange something, just don't enter any more food competitions. We'll call you the winner right off the bat. Alright?
Sure.
It's a lot of food. Okay. Takes a little while, but there is a bit where the crowd otherwise kind of bleeds off, and you note that one of the guards has changed rotation in this time for all this taking place. You can see that Locke's kind of sat there and just kind of impressively looks at you and does a slow clap and nod, noting all of this going ahead. He doesn't know. So, as you are otherwise sat there for the moment, Kirv, feeling your stomach not as much aching now, given you've had a bit more time to relax now that Kay has been busy for the past half an hour eating meals. You otherwise have a bit of a moment of just sat there and waiting when you watch as the large kind of mud fluxian individual otherwise comes over to your table and pulls up a large chair and just sits down next to you. Well done. First time I've seen that done in years.
Somebody's done it before?
Yeah, one person before has done it.
How far did they go?
They made it to 32 before they had to bow out. So you've still beaten them, but they did well.
Do you remember what their name was?
Of
I'm
course.
interested.
She's one of the main patrons of my tavern.
Oh?
He otherwise gestures behind him to what looks to be a picture frame of what looks to be a painted portrait of someone. From here, you can just about read what looks to be Justicar Elia Stein, head and leader of the Watchmen.
Oh. Oh.
You can see that she is a Fluxian individual of what looks to be an earth and fire kind of cracked lava feel to them, with almost like an obsidian glass look. She'll be mighty upset to know that she's been bested, so I suppose I better prepare for a contest if you'd be up for that at some point. Not soon, obviously, but in the future.
Yeah, sure. I'm in all actuality, I could have kept going, just 34 is
A lot.
that, and it means something more to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, for her it's a different matter. She's held that title for years, and now that she's been bested, she'll want to reclaim it, I'm sure. She was the same. Did the same sort of thing, stayed in it for quite some time before handing in, or throwing in the towel, should we say.
Well, if she does want to have a little competition and says so to you, let her know that I'll be interested.
Sounds good.
Was great food though.
Oh, thank you. I'm the cook. Glad you enjoyed all of it. Always prepare for this time of year. Usually get quite a few through. Individuals that otherwise enjoy just eating as much as they can. Person before you was otherwise the large gnoll from the dark alleys, came from the street below.
Oh. Huh. It's a big world.
Plenty of individuals come through here. Those in Zakers, very few of us are judging. Interested to see someone of your stature otherwise pull so far ahead, though.
Well, as someone has told me before, never judge a book by its cover.
Ain't that the truth?
Well,
it's nice meeting you. I'm Mac, by the way.
I stick out my hand. Okay.
Okay, you put out your hand, and your hand sinks into his a little bit, almost like there's a layer of grease and mud, and you pull your hand back, but it all sticks to him. As you guys pull your hand back, it almost makes a sucking sound, pulling your hand out, but it's clean when it's left, or left his grip.
Kay doesn't mind.
Yeah. And you? Looking at you, Kirv.
Me?
Yeah, you're with Kay, I assume.
Define with?
Travelling.
Yeah, for now.
Do you think he was asking if you were like romantically involved?
Yes,
or...
I was confused.
Yeah, Kay would have to say no to that.
Well,
his true love is food.
That's fair. Well, it's a pleasure to meet both of you, and hope to see you around from time to time.
Pleasure to meet you too. Well, I would, whenever I'm in town, I'll make sure to stop by and eat some more of the good food.
Yeah, by all means.
Thanks for the free food.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay. And I will say, given that you went quite far with the food competition, I'll say you head back to the Firefly Stacks and you'll meet with your companions and otherwise eat some food there.
I'll be picking up a fish on the way there.
Picking up a fish, picking up some food along the way. I'll say Silver will grab you guys some street food and some general refreshments on the way back.
Nope.
So, Vinny, did you want to do anything else, or were you just going to be enjoying the atmosphere of the festivals?
I mean, as I'm here, I'll take this opportunity to take a bit of a general look around, but for the most part, yeah, just taking the atmosphere.
Okay. Having a general look around, you pick up on a few other, going to a few other cloud windows, you otherwise find a few other what look to be taverns and festivals going on in different areas. You see a tavern known as Meruetta's Grove, which you remember being mentioned to you as one of the noble houses individuals who owns a tavern. You note that there are individuals, there's much higher guard outside there, and you see that there isn't necessarily like watchmen specifically on guard or Golden Crusaders, but you see individuals in house guard uniform, and they have more of a personal attachment to it. You also note, otherwise looking around, what looks to be various hedge sculptures in the middle of this particular area, and you can see what looks to be a lime green devilkin, otherwise beginning to go about just trimming hedges in all manners. You see flamingos, you can see what looks to be basic chess pieces, you can see what looks to be a dragon for one of them, and you note that as they otherwise finish trimming off one particular section, you watch as she otherwise kind of gestures with her hand, and you watch as the three of them shift, changing, and otherwise kind of climb down as animated hedges as they begin to move around. Like the chess piece hops from one place to the next, kind of bending slightly as much as the hedge will allow to kind of bow and nod to people, while the other two, the animals, the flamingo just kind of flies up and encircles the area, while the dragon kind of stalks around the crowd and just begins to kind of hiss and snort at the various individuals as it prowls around the area. With her otherwise standing in the middle, she bows to the rest and otherwise performs an announcement to the rest of the crowd. And for anybody who wishes to otherwise dine or enjoy a wonderful night, please head over to my tavern, the Merowetter's Grove, where we will be serving everything at 50% off for today only. As of this display, thank you very much for attending. And there is a general round of applause, and people begin to file up to the tavern as she begins to wind down. A few individuals do approach, and you note that the house guard kind of intercept them and begin kind of stopping them, but she accepts questions, talking to a few of them. There are a few kids asking for, not what would necessarily be autographs, but kind of just general hellos and talking to them and recognition.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. How many guards is she traveling with?
You see what looks to be 6 guards, all house guards. One of whom seems to have a slightly, generally more of a grizzled and weathered look to them, and more of a higher rank amongst the house guard, it would seem.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So, and Romulus and Cat, are you doing anything in particular other than browsing?
I mean, as far as I know, we're looking at paintings and just enjoying ourselves, I guess. Unless Romulus has got other plans. I don't know how long we're looking at paintings to do any cooking. We were being detectives? For the detective.
Okay, well, given there's no reply, I will say that you are otherwise enjoying the... You're enjoying the festivities, as you said, Kat. But there's not really much else that you do other than going around enjoying a few galleries, looking out for your Blendoir Bonk, and not finding him. But otherwise, moving from area to area, you enjoy quite a lot of art, a lot of creativity, a lot of craft, and you can see there's quite a lot of dancing, which you also get a little bit involved in, before heading back to the tavern and in your Firefly stacks, where you rest up for the night and the evening in preparation for the day ahead of you. So, party. You wake up the next day. You've all received a long rest and restored anything that you've used in the prior day. What does the rest of your day entail? I know your auction is the main goal, and I'll say you have about 3 hours before then if anyone would like to do anything.
My free time is going to be taken up by starting my rune.
Okay.
I'm just after the auction.
Okay.
I will be working on the wood.
Okay.
Okay, taking inspiration from yesterday, I'm going to resume practicing the lute.
Okay. And Kirv, anything you'd like to do for 3 hours or so?
Do I know that Kat is going to sign up for the?
Yes, you would know that she already has. Yeah.
Yeah, you were with.
Yeah. Or you weren't allowed in at the time, but you were allowed. You walked with, and then she signed up.
I think Kirv would actually like to talk to Kat about that, if that's okay.
Okay.
Where are we now? Sorry.
You'd be currently just in the tavern still, so Kat would probably still be in her room.
Oh, okay. So I'd like to go up and knock on her door.
Okay. I'm gonna go over to the door. Well, yeah, I probably will be because Romulus is hard carving.
Yes,
Hi.
that famous thing, hard carving.
Hard carving. Hi.
Kat,
What?
just the person I wanted to speak with.
I did nothing.
Are you sure about that?
Not today.
So, you're going to be taking part in that competition, right?
Yeah.
Would you like some backup?
Okay.
Do I know that she wants the scrolls?
I'd say not necessarily. No.
Do I know there's a winning prize?
Yes.
But I don't. Do I know that it is scrolls?
I'd say you know that it's something magically related. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking if we've got 2 people in the competition, we're more likely to win the prize for our team, you know?
That's true. I mean, if we've got more numbers. It would make sense. So you're thinking of entering?
Yeah, show these guys that, you know. Sorry, she she thinks, yeah, show these guys that what real magic is, you know?
Sure. I mean, why not? And I mean, good experience for you to learn or experience magic from this plane.
Yeah, whatever. So,
Oh.
it's a plan?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Go sign up. Have fun. Please don't kill anyone.
Oh, is it not that kind of competition?
No. No.
No
we're
matter,
not
I'm
out-
sure it'd still be fun.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you have fun, that's all that counts, right? That's all that matters.
Of course. I'll leave you to it.
Okay. All right. Well, have fun, and I'll see you soon.
Sure. Okay, I've closed the door behind her.
Okay.
So yeah, Kirv would like to sign up for the competition today.
Okay. I'll say going to there before the auction. You head there with Hazel and arrive at the outside. The guards otherwise look at you, note your note your appearance, and one just kind of looks you up and down and goes, you got any proof that you're magically capable for entering the tournament?
Oh my gosh, can I make him soil himself?
Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Okay. You
To
do
find
so.
the
You do so.
hmm
He just kind of looks down at his attire and just goes, "That's." He just kind of snaps his fingers, and you note that it becomes clean again. That's not exactly powerful magic.
Okay, what are you looking for then? You sure you can take it?
Roll me an intimidation check.
That is 13 plus 7.
20. Okay. You say that, and the individual just kind of looks at you and goes, okay. You can show off your magic in a non-harmful way.
I cast Mage Hand just to give him a pat on the head.
Again, that's a cantrip. Something simple. I'm not sure that you're particularly well suited to this, unless you can prove that you are of a caliber of magic that we should consider. I don't think that you'd be allowed within the competition.
What's around me?
Currently, you can see what looks to be students walking in and out, a number of pillars that otherwise are attached to the section above. This particular section isn't enclosed for the college, but you note that it's otherwise almost on the outskirts, rather large kind of stone constructed building with a few wooden ones nearby, but is mostly uninterrupted or unattached.
Can I cast Spider Form to climb up one of the pillars, the columns?
Okay, so what does your spider form look like?
Spider Form is creepy, super creepy. It's scarecrow limbs all sort of coming out of my sides.
Okay. As you otherwise begin to cast this, the scarecrow limbs kind of breaking out from your sides and onto the walkway. You begin to climb one of the pillars and goes, okay. Fair enough, you may enter if you wish. Obviously, it pertains to the rules.
Which are?
And go from there. The rules are no physically attacking somebody with anything other than magic. This includes magically created weapons. Summons and otherwise creations will be dispelled after their first initial attack. This is a focus on magic, not your ability to beat somebody up.
Chris, you're talking a bit fast. I'm trying to write this down.
No physical attacks
Mm-hmm.
against
Including,
people.
Weapons made by magic.
Yep. And so any weapons created by magic aren't allowed, so no attacking with your scythe, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Any summons will be dispelled after they have made their first attack. And the intention is to get your opponent to back down or surrender, not necessarily to knock them unconscious.
But it can be.
It can be done, yeah. And for you, it will be the same sort of thing that if you want to go to unconscious, you can, but you will then risk potentially dying if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. So you sign up?
Kirv signs up.
Okay. Kat, do you remember what the entry cost was? I believe it was 10 gold?
Yeah, it's 10 gold because Romulus paid one platinum.
Yes. So, entry fee is 10 gold.
Mm-hmm. Kirv begrudgingly passes over 10 gold.
Okay.
Use it wisely.
The clerk in question otherwise kind of scoops the money away and writes a few things in the air, and the name Kirv appears on the board behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You otherwise head back, and you otherwise meet up with your companions before heading to the auction. So, as you're all otherwise completing your tasks and preparing for this, you make your way to what looks to be a rather large building, one which Vinny and Kay, you two have been to before. The building itself is unmarked from what you can generally tell, but it is a large auction house, and walking into the interior, you can see that the double doors are otherwise open. There are watchman guards there. You can see that there are a number of other guards in kind of like a darker steel outfit. You can see a few individuals who are otherwise wandering around as the auction is going to be beginning soon in very nice attire. These are individuals who are wearing suits or dresses, very much formal wear. As these individuals are moving around, some have personal guard or house guard with them. And the auction house itself leads in with this large, otherwise beautifully bright red rug that leads in with displays on either side on the left and right for a good 3 or 4 sets of 2 before it splits off going to the left and right, which you note the doors were closed previously. But now that they are open, you can see that the right door leads into a further display room and the left door leads into what looks to be a hallway, where a number of individuals are filtering through and heading down, talking and conversing to one another. As your party arrives, you feel very underdressed for this.
Kay feels fine.
Okay, feels fine. But the watchmen otherwise walk in with you and kind of just take a general note. You see they meet up with another 2 watchmen who otherwise walk over and go, I assume this is the lot then? That is the case, yes. These are the ones we're to keep an eye on, make sure that no Golden Crusaders try to go anywhere near them. We don't want to cause any incidences. Understood. The individual otherwise hucks a crossbow kind of just over their shoulder, not loaded, but just over their shoulder. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Alright, nice to meet you too.
Just kind of nods and looks back at their companion. You see that the individual with them seems to be a rather young individual, probably 17 at the very oldest for a watchman. You see that he's otherwise got curly brown hair, just kind of standing there on guard, but not necessarily taking it super seriously, just kind of watching this. Kind of watching as all of you show up. He just kind of gives a general nod to the rest of you, but doesn't take too much in about it.
Interesting. Yes. Hello there. Don't forget to say, but sure.
Right then, are you going to be looking around through the displays for a little bit, or will you be heading straight in?
I want to look around at the displays a little bit.
Okay. Alrighty then. Having a look around through the displays, you can see what looks to be pieces of artwork, what looks to be pottery, paintings, nice general metalwork pieces such as goblets and collector's pieces. You can see what look to be a number of very nice looking just decor pieces. This isn't just an auction for magic items, it seems. It seems the magic items is just a piece of this all. But as you otherwise begin to kind of look through and have a look at the various bits and pieces, there are a few which stand out. Notably, I'll say, actually, everybody roll me an investigation check for those who are looking around. Just to give me a general vibe on what you might or might not notice.
Investigation.
I am looking for but one thing, and that is a certain investigator.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm also looking for any information about my family. If they're going to show up anywhere, it's going to be this place.
Okay, I get what you mean, but yeah.
Okay, I got a natural 20.
Okay. Well, we know where you're going.
30.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay, so Romulus, you looking around, you don't see too much. There's a bunch of things which look kind of cool, but nothing that really suits you by any means. As you're kind of looking around, you see a few bits and pieces. Vinny, what did you get?
14.
14. Looking around, there are some bits and pieces which do catch your attention. A few of these that, as you're going around, you see Kay kind of stop and look at them. And you note that there seems to be the boots of springing and striding, which you can see Kay is otherwise standing in front of, otherwise looking at. You can see that the price has slightly gone up on them, on their base price. It seems there are some base bidders who have put in some stuff ahead of time. And as a result, the base price and the estimated value of what it's being put at has gone up. So the boots of springing and
Price currently?
220. This is prior to auction stuff going on.
Got it.
But Vinny, as you're otherwise looking around, you see a few bits and pieces which kind of catch your attention. A few cloaks, a few more boots. You do very much note that there is a section of what looks to be a series of scrolls, and you can see that each of them is labelled in kind of like this glass scroll rack case. You can see what looks to be most of them are sealed with this kind of very intricate seal, and you remember seeing it before, but Olabrek's brain, and you can see that these seem to be crafting certificates. Otherwise, looking at
it's the guy who does a lot of the crafting, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, commissions item. Yeah.
Commissions crafting, and more specifically sends out these scrolls as effectively crafting certificates so you can have something made by them. As you're otherwise looking over the base prices of these, you can see that these particular ones probably all start around 2,000 gold. And you otherwise have a look and note that quite a few of them already have like base listings on them where the price has fluctuated and gone up a little bit, and individuals have changed bidding a little bit ahead of time just to kind of stick out what ones they want. But you take note of that, as that was something you noted last time. Kay, with your natural 20, you note your boots are springing and striding. And looking around, you see all manner of things, but looking most notably for ones within your price range and things that you mentioned you wanted something small, you see what looks to be a few tidbits here and there, but most notably you see a pair of glasses currently sat on a pillow in one particular section of the display case. As you go over and have a look, you can see they have kind of this light blue tint to them and a number of runes and inner workings of enchantment attached to the glass and the frame itself. These are eyes of minute seeing. And as you otherwise kind of have a look at them, you don't entirely know what they do, but the base price is 600. So it's not exactly cheap, but could potentially be interesting.
Indeed, it might be interesting indeed.
Cat or Kirv, what did you roll?
I got 16.
16. Okay. Looking around the bits and pieces here, Cat, there's nothing that really catches your attention in terms of finished pieces. You find a few spell scrolls here that are listed. You see what looks to be a scroll of Enlarge Reduce and a scroll of See Invisibility, both of which are being listed. Enlarge Reduce at 450 and See Invisibility at 350. But you also note what looks to be sections and chunks of what looks to be rarer materials. Ones that you will more particularly note as ones that will be used in wandcraft. Things like Venom of the Basilisk, for example. One that would be used for a piece of a wand core. Or things like Pure Mercury. Bits and pieces that would be used for material purposes. And you can see that a few craftsmen have already put in bids for some of the higher tier stuff.
What price is the Venom of the Basilisk going for?
That one's going for 250. It's pricey, but it is a good ingredient. Otherwise very hard to extract, you can imagine.
Okay. Inventory. Yeah, okay. Alright.
Is that a you don't have any money?
That's I don't even have 250.
Noted.
Cat's broke.
And Kirv, what did you get?
19.
19. Okay. Otherwise, looking around the auction house for various bits and pieces, there are a lot of interestingly and differently designed items and pieces of art here. quite a lot of them do catch your attention. There are guards, and you can see that the display cases are all very nice and such. But some which you do recognize as you otherwise head over to them are ones that you've seen before. Not necessarily exactly, but a similar design. And you recognize and see the label of what looks to be a bundle of candles of revealing. You've seen them before burned around the second layer of hell, used in particular by specific guards or individuals that watch certain areas.
Curious.
Okay. After having a look around, you are led into the auction house. Heading in, you can see that it is a large, almost amphitheatre-like space, with a large kind of semicircular chamber, chairs and rows of this entire section with a second floor and balcony above where you are currently seated, closer to the back, but not entirely. You can see a stage down below and a platform where a number of individuals are currently moving around and talking and chatting to one another. Kay, I believe you were looking for things like this. You note what looks to be a draconian individual that you recognize from your surveillance camera the other day, as the individual is otherwise moving around and moving a few things to and from.
I see. So this is the one that the Lloyd is at. Good to know. I will. How long until the auction starts?
I'd probably say a good 5 minutes because you spent some time looking around.
Okay, I might be able to get this done in time. If they're in an area I can get to, I would like to try and talk to this draconian individual.
The individual seems to be traveling from the stage to the back, as you otherwise try and...
so I can't get to them yet.
Yeah. As you otherwise try to kind of make a position where you might be able to chat with them, they don't seem to be interactable, really. And they aren't a individual who's on stage all the time. They seem to be more of just a workman.
Okay. I thought they might have walked around on the floor a little bit or anything. I'll
No,
try and
no.
take care of that later then.
Okay. Okay then. Is there anything anybody would like to do before we begin?
I don't have anything in particular.
No.
No. Cat's filthy broke, so there's not a whole lot. Just go hang with the party.
Okay.
It's the boots you're looking for, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Looking at the... But with all of this taking place, who will be who will be actively has the money to bet? Or
Me.
not bet. Bid.
I used to.
Okay, so Kay will.
I brought loads of ink and paper. I'm broke.
Vinny, will you be at all?
I have a decent bit of money, yeah, so I'll join. I'll make sure I'm sat next to Kay so I can.
Okay. And Kirv?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you asked.
Will you be participating in bidding for anything at all?
Probably not.
Okay. So, Kay and Vinny, please go ahead and roll me a d100 each to generate your number. Okay, so Kay starts off with number 75. Okay, I need to note these down. And 79. Okay, you got fairly close together. Vinny 79, Kay 75. So, as you otherwise sat within the auction house, otherwise taking in the surroundings, there's just the general chatter before the convenience crystals above begin to dim, and people generally begin to kind of sit still for a moment as you watch an individual in what looks to be a kind of very nice, upstanding suit otherwise wanders out, kind of slicked back, almost this dark bluish hair to them. Fluxian individual of what looks to be kind of this whiter, almost pure cloud white skin. A kind of a blue tuft of beard hair as they otherwise step out, adjust what looks to be a set of glasses, and just kind of lightly tap on the convenience crystal in front of them, kind of letting a booming sound ring out throughout the auction house. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Thank you all for attending, and I do hope that everybody finds something of worth tonight that they might either want or achieve in getting. Thank you all, and please do, in this moment, pay homage to our patron and leader, and otherwise kind of gestures upwards to what looks to be a private booth, where you can see kind of this almost grizzled older lady, kind of thick wrinkles running through portions of her face, kind of a pulled up and very tight kind of white bun, and almost an orcish physique about her as she's otherwise sat in a chair, a very nice, what looks to be gown and scarf on, and two guards to either side of her as she otherwise kind of looks down and nods. Thank you very much to Lady Ronbor for establishing this place and setting it up for our future and your procuring of items. So, I am Metavex, and let us begin with our first item. So, over the course of this, are you looking for general items that you might be interested in, or anything else that you wanted to take note of from previous investigations and looking through the displays?
For me, main things are the glasses and the boots.
Mhm.
And I am also interested in knowing what the egg looking thing was.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Okay.
And you, Vinny?
Sorry to interrupt. Was I hearing the portal guy overly quickly explaining the terms and conditions, of the aperture science things in the background? Because I swear I've been hearing it.
Sorry about that.
Yes, that.
No, that is just my brother watching a Minecraft video.
Oh my god, it just sounds so sped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I'll be right back real quick.
Yep. No worries. Anything you're
I
looking for,
mean,
Vinny?
the items that Kay is interested in are of interest to me.
Mhm.
I'll keep an eye out for any general items as well.
This isn't necessarily looking for just stuff you're looking to purchase, but stuff that you might have interest in general as well.
Happy.
I mean, aside from the things I saw, what kinds of things are likely to be here?
Well, you know that quite a lot of it is pieces of art. There's only a handful, like maybe a dozen magical items that are being sold, from what you know. I believe the initial list that you looked through included the Boots of Spring and Striding, the Elixir of the Dawn Star, Cloak of Smoke, a leaf-flown cloak, and a few spell scrolls were listed originally. Along with the Moor necklace, which you note has been taken down listing-wise.
Right, yeah, because that was going to be sold here. But they did get that back, so why is it not? Oh well, no matter. We're not going to get the answer to that here. No, I'm just going to keep an eye out for the boots and what were the glasses that?
Eyes of minute seeing.
Mostly for curiosity.
Fair enough.
Microscope sunglasses.
Okay. So, keeping an eye out for these things, A number of things come through and go. The cloaks otherwise come through in there almost one after another, and you can see individuals do buy them. One of them does abstain for a while and gets a little bit low on the rankings in terms of coin, but it was quite expensive to begin with before it shoots back up again as people do actually bid for it and get it. There is general hubbub and chatter as the Cloak of Runes comes out, as individuals kind of begin to take note as the announcer otherwise goes, this particular cloak was designed by giant hands, from what we understand, with a group of sky giants otherwise having built this one, but their fortress was otherwise found deserted. The cloak itself is very well designed, and some very intricate runes across the whole thing. Who can start me at the bidding at 7,000 gold? You see, there's a bit of a pause before you hear before somebody raises their card, and the bid is called 750 or 75, and the next person puts up their card, and you note that its price rises to about 9,500 before it stops.
Vinny.
I don't think you'd ever afford that.
No, Vinny, take note of who buys that. We'll have a word.
You note that the card is raised, the individual writes it down, smacks the gavel and says, Thank you very much for purchasing that. I would like, I'll say Vinny and Romulus, go ahead and roll me perception checks to see if you can catch the number.
I will as well.
If you wish to, instead of Romulus, you can, or Vinny. This will be two people
what's
heralding
everyone's
this check.
perception like?
My perception is +5.
Ah, you're better than me. You do it. That was just me stopping it, I swear to God.
No, that's fair.
I said it before I
Yeah, you said it before you dropped it, that's fine.
That's a 30.
Okay, so Kay, being perceptive enough in this particular instance, as Romulus otherwise nudges Vinny to get a look at who's getting this. You've been watching these bidders keenly, seeing who's spending and who's not, and very much taking in the note of how much you have available to you, and trying to estimate how much other people have in terms of their buying power. As you're going through this, you pick up that the individual's number is 26.
I nudge back at Romulus. 26.
26. Is there any way to find out who that is from the number?
Other than stealing records, no.
I think we don't have to steal the records.
Also true, but still.
We could just read the records illegally. Technically, that's not... it's at best trespassing.
So, next, a few things go by. Eventually, the scrolls show up, and you note that there are 3 scrolls in question that are each placed out on what looks to be their own platforms, as each of them is brought up. Now we have a wonderful lot. We will be dealing with 3 separate spell scrolls, one after another, for the astute parent who may be wishing to give their student child a interesting scroll for their birthday or upcoming celebrations, or potentially for their own personal use. We have, first lot is the Scroll of Enlarge Reduce. Can anybody start me at 400, please?
Vinny. Vinny.
Does that scroll do what I think it does?
Yes, probably. Wait, what do you think it does? It makes someone larger in every dimension.
I would like to scan around the room and see if it looks like anybody's interested in this.
Roll me an insight check.
I just want to see how many people are kind of interested. Insight, that is a 14.
14. Looking around, there doesn't seem to be anybody immediately raising a card, but there are a few individuals kind of leaning over and talking. And you note that from what you've seen, from what you've seen, a number of people around here they have people bidding on their behalf. So people who they've brought with them who are bidding on their behalf, raising their card so that they aren't recognized as the bidder. But as you're otherwise taking note, you note that one person does kind of lift their card and goes, 400, good. 425. You bidding at all, party?
I have nothing.
I used to have money.
Yeah, I'm not getting in on this.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in a introduce scroll.
Okay. So,
One day I'll become absolutely massive,
okay.
but not today.
Okay, so it goes by a little bit, but it does eventually settle at about 460, where it is then passed on to the next person. Next up from our spells, we have a wonderful thing for if you are looking for potential trespassers or for guards in this particular instance, or anything that might be of the unseen nature, in the form of see invisibility. Can I start the bidding at 250, please? There's a pause. Someone does raise a card. Pay for it. Are you bidding at all, party?
Still have nothing.
Invisibility. No, not me either.
Okay.
Yeah. How many people look interested in this?
It seems to be slowing down at about I'll say, given the initial bid of about 250, it's slowed down at about 275. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that that they can't go higher. It just means the competition's not there currently.
I'll raise my card for 280
280. Okay.
and see if anybody goes for it.
Okay. Then the same person again who the auctioneer looks to, otherwise raises their card, taking the next bid of 300.
Yeah, I'm not going 300. I'm not going over 300 for this.
Okay.
I have other things that are interesting to me.
Okay. And it is otherwise sold to them. And finally, a wonderful piece which may help you in a pinch, but one that we here certainly don't need, is a scroll of locate creature. Can I start the bidding at 1,000, please?
Nope.
For a scroll of
No.
locate creature?
It's 4th level.
I guess. But oof.
It's a great one, but I'm not going for that.
Okay. It eventually sells out at about 1,600. There are a few individuals who are looking for this, it would seem, but it was a high roller. Okay, moving on to the next things that do generally catch attention. Coming through, you have the Boots of Sturdiness. These otherwise come in, and there is a moment of pause as the bidding starts at 1,000. Interested?
No.
No? Okay. It moves and sells at 1,150. Eventually, your Boots of Springing and Striding show up.
Yes.
Let's see how much competition there is for this one. Okay.
I'm definitely scanning the area for this one. I'm paying close attention for this.
Okay. The individual, the auction otherwise goes, would anybody like to start me at 180, please?
I'll give it a little bit. See if
Okay.
anybody goes.
I will raise a paddle.
Okay. You raise the paddle for 180. Thank you very much. Anybody for 190, please? There's a pause. Somebody else raises their paddle. Good. 200.
I will raise mine for that one.
Okay. 225. The next person raises theirs.
I'll raise mine for the next one.
Okay, so 250 for you. Anybody for 275? The paddle is raised once again. Do I hear 300? Looks back at you.
I will raise mine and say 350.
350. Okay.
Yeah, I'm raising it
Okay.
more.
The individual looks back at the other one, who you note there is kind of a shake, and they kind of lower their head. Going once, going twice. Sold to you for 350. So take 350 gold out of your inventory, and I'll send you the details for boots of springing and striding.
From a starting bit of 180, it's quite an increase, but
It's fine.
you won. That's all we need.
Next,
Given that I was bidding against them, can I try and see if I can get this individual's number?
go for it. Make me a perception check. I'll say K, you can do the same as well if you wish.
Yes, I would.
Just because it was one specific individual who seemed quite interested, that might be of note. Investigation, that's a 19.
Or
but you said
perception here, sorry.
Perception, so it's 21.
21. I'll say, Kate, you're overjoyed that you got your items, so you weren't paying attention to their number throughout this, but Vinny, you were paying more close attention. You know that their number is 13.
13 is half of 26. They're in cahoots.
So, with that, we move on to the next lot, which this one immediately, as it begins to be wheeled out, you note that it is one accompanied by 3 guards. As this one is accompanied out, as you see what looks to be this long-necked vial of this gold, silvery, iridescent liquid. And now for one of the more expected lots and pieces before we will take our break here. The Elixir of the Dawn Star. And there is an immediate kind of recollection of individuals kind of nodding and people preparing their cards. Do I see a starting price of 50,000 gold? To which
I'm definitely paying attention to who wins this.
to which you note that multiple individuals put up their cards immediately for this. To which they have to kind of forfeit, and it goes on a little bit as individuals are like holding up cards. It goes on for a little while, a little bit longer, until it eventually reaches 65,000 gold. At which point, you taking note, I would like Kay and one other person to roll me a perception check, please.
If no one else is gonna, I'm happy to look out for this
Go for
because
Okay.
first of all, I've got a height advantage, and second of all,
I mean,
That's
Vinny has
true.
no clue what the hell this is. It's just, yeah.
I
Yes.
genuinely don't know what it is.
Shiny.
Oh, that's an 8.
8. Okay. So Kay.
I'm more paying attention to the person that can spend this kind of money.
Yeah. Looking at it, you note that this individual, as they otherwise raise their number, the individual's holding it up. They sit back down and otherwise kind of nod and talk to their client. You can see the client themselves seems to be a older gentleman, kind of gracefully aging human, but you note that his number is 67.
67. Interesting. But no.
Okay. A break and intermission is had where you will have 5 minutes to grab refreshments and go to the loo, so I will assume that you do so before returning, unless there's anything anyone would like to do.
No.
Besides for seeing if there might be a chance at some point to be able to catch the lizard folk individual, then not really anything else for Kay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure trying to break into the records office is such a good idea at the moment, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Kirv might just cry that she didn't end up with a richer party.
You think it's a luck of
my-
the draw? Everyone's
All
poor
my
in this
gold
world.
goals and keep on you alive. Ah!
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm gonna buy those glasses, and they start at 600.
Mm. So next thing, as you otherwise sit back down, the lots continue. A few decorative pieces go through, nothing particularly interesting. A few antiques and artifacts of like interesting non-magical articles go through for about 10,000 at most. Before you note, not necessarily hubbub, but you note that there are a few individuals and representatives that otherwise kind of begin to pay attention as the next lot is brought out what looks to be another pair of boots. These ones more of a steel-clad design, kind of a dark red coloration to them. This lot is the Boots of the Rampager. Does anybody see an initial cost of 2,500 for these? You know that there seems to be competition between two different lots for a good amount of gold until it gets to about 3,000 gold. The only thing that really catches your attention there of these individuals competing. Next lot of note for you, I guess, would be the Eyes of Minute Seeing. Okay. As it otherwise arrives at that, you see the glasses otherwise arrive. These nice set of spectacles and glasses, the lenses and the frame is otherwise enchanted in such a way and imbued with magic to allow you to see a bit more refined
No problem.
nature. You'll be able to see clearly and things of a smaller nature. Let us start the bidding at about 400 gold.
Observe the tiny monsters that live in your skin, causing diseases and strange magics.
Not quite that small, but an individual does kind of raise their hand to take note of this.
You might have tiny
400,
creatures
so
under your
it dropped
skin. I
from-
certainly don't.
What was
Alright.
that, Kirv?
You might have tiny creatures under your skin, but I certainly don't.
That's
You
what he's doing now.
have tiny devils underneath your skin.
It's where the imps go. Stab, stab. That's what
What?
pain is. They're like, oh, an attack's incoming. Quick, start stabbing. Okay. So, someone bids for 400. Do I see 425?
I raised mine.
Okay. 450. Next person raises theirs. 500. Looking back at you.
I raised mine.
550. The individual raises theirs. 600.
As they raise theirs, can I get an understanding of how badly they want these?
Roll me an insight check. I'll say with disadvantage in this particular instance. Because it's trying to gauge how much that person might have.
It's less how much they might have. It's more how much they want them.
Okay.
I said insight. Insight. That's an 11.
Okay. 11. You otherwise keep trying to keep an eye on them as best you can. It's hard to tell. You can't seem to pick up anything. These are associates bidding on the behalf of potentially richer clients. The one thing that you do note, I will say, roll me a perception check for this, if you please. $13?
Yeah.
You recognise the position and the number. This is number 67 again.
Why did they gotta be in my way? Alright, I'll raise mine again.
600?
Oh, is
Six-
that what? Oh, yeah, that's right. You went
Yep.
550.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, 600.
650? The individual raises their card.
I will stop at. I'll stop at like 850.
I'm gonna roll to see how far they go. Okay. They stop at 775.
Vinny, where did Kay get all this money?
Alright,
I'm not sure.
so as this is happening, the individual kind of takes their last bid at 775. Okay, you take yours at 800, at which point they bow out.
Okay.
Okay, so you pay 800 for the Eyes of Minute Seeing. I'll send you the description for that as well.
I think Kay's been holding out on us, Vinny.
There you go. Take that one as well.
Is Kay secretly a noble rat? the Rat King?
Mm-hmm. So, as you continue through the next section of this, kind of keeping note but not necessarily purchasing anything else that comes up, there are a few bits and pieces, a few kind of will it be batch healing potions. Eventually, the crafting notes for Olabric's brain come through, and you note that each of them sells for about 2,000 gold. A little bit above in some cases. But each of those scripts, there are 5 of them, or crafting certificates are otherwise sold. Competition for all of them, you do note. And the only other thing which catches your attention, as you previously described that you wanted to look out for, was the dragon egg.
Oh, it was a dragon egg.
To which, as it arrives and you otherwise kind of have a look at it, it is just the individual goes, and here we have an otherwise fossilized dragon egg. Fossilized part meaning that it is highly unlikely to hatch, but still keep it away from any fires or otherwise, just in case. Can I start the bidding at 11,000 gold? A few individuals kind of raise their cards. Eventually it gets through a little ways before eventually stopping at around about 16,000 gold.
I really wish we had the money for that dragon egg.
Same. I wanted to eat it.
I was just thinking the same. An omelette would be perfect right now.
Okay.
Well,
So, sells for around 16,000, pauses and moves on. Eventually, after selling the last few kind of tidbit items and nothing else of really comes into note, the individual at the front kind of bows. Thank you all for coming, and again, I do hope that you all enjoyed yourselves and acquired something of note that you wanted on tonight's auction. The next auction will be taking place in 2 weeks' time, with further listings being opened, and then the one after that is in a month. So, thank you for watching. Oh, thank you for coming, and I will see you next time. Otherwise, lifts a hand and wanders off stage, to which there is a light round of applause before the lights come back up. And you see individuals begin to walk out and filter out.
I am gonna take my time because now I am actually trying to get to this lizard folk individual because I want my orb.
Okay.
I don't want to keep it here.
Vinny, I took note of a couple of those numbers, and I'm certain you did as well. Where might we locate the correlating information?
I would assume it's in the back room. Now, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, when we came into the auction house the last time, I asked a question of the person and they disappeared off for a minute.
Yes, correct.
Did I see where they went?
Yes, from the main room they went out one of the back doors, from the main foyer area, which you saw had a left door, a right door, and then a back door. The right door led to a further display room, which was a rather large one. The left door led to the auction house, or down a hallway to the auction house. The back door, from what you can gauge, probably would lead to where would be just adjacent to where the stage would be. So some form of large storage area.
Obviously, I can't sneak worth a damn, so just thought I'd ask.
So you know that Kay has disappeared.
Ah, what the Where did the Rat King go?
He does
The Rat
that from
King?
time to time.
Yes. Yes, I have heard tales of the Rat King, known as K. Raticus.
I mean,
No.
no.
But I'm Raticus.
I am Raticus.
Okay, so as you're standing there discussing K, you're heading down and filtering down. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check, I'll say.
$18.
Okay, 18. There are times where you have to kind of wait for the crowds of people to come by, and there are a number of individuals that seem to be kind of keeping an eye out. But you are kind of sneaking by and moving down the down towards the stage, where you note that it is otherwise empty. But you do see what looks to be a number of individuals have come on stage and are beginning to kind of remove a few of the last bits and pieces that are in the way, kind of turning off the crystal lights and taking them, otherwise taking them out of the main stage at the front. As you begin to otherwise head down to the stage, you eventually arrive, unbeknownst to what looks to be any of the guards or anything. You see that there are currently 2 individuals currently on the main stage, one of whom looks to be the announcer and auctioneer, who is currently standing behind, who otherwise goes back to behind the podium and kind of takes a glass of water, just drinks it a little bit, and begins to kind of tap some notes and picks up a book and kind of closes it gently and just kind of holds it close to them as they otherwise look around the area.
I am gonna try and get their attention.
Okay, well, easy enough because they notice you. As they otherwise kind of look up and look down and goes, can I help you?
Yes. Something I wanted to discuss with you. Do you mind if I come closer?
Kind of gestures to the edge of the platform. Stay down there, obviously, because it's staff only back here. It's what seems to be the issue. If you're thinking about collecting items, please speak to our clerk and have it delivered to an address. Or alternatively, we will be able to hand you a scroll of containment that will otherwise have your items in there, if you have bought anything.
More I feel this might be relevant for security purposes. I came across a magic item that it has something peculiar with it, and it allows vision to be granted to a place that it is set. One of the places
Okay.
that it is set is in the storage area for the items. I can show you for proof. I just want to collect the orb. I don't want to see this.
The individual kind of looks at you kind of hesitantly, but with a natural 20 on their insight. Wait there one moment, I'll meet you down there. And the individual otherwise walks backstage for a moment before you note to one side of where the stage is what looks to be a hidden doorway, otherwise it's pushed open as the panel pulls out. And they kind of step out, and you can see that a guard has otherwise travelled with them. And otherwise walks up and goes, "May I see?"
I will take out the spyglass.
Mm-hmm. They kind of lift the spyglass, have a kind of a general look at it, see if they understand what it does. Okay. They kind of have a look through it and doesn't really do anything, but they give it kind of a light twist and it begins to move, and they twist and pull. They have a look. That is concerning. Who would this have belonged to, if I may ask?
Honestly, I don't know. I had found it. Some people were running from somewhere and they dropped it. I am 100% lying right here.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a deception check.
Oh,
Yep.
come on.
If you have
Oh.
inspiration still, now's the time to use it.
Oh, yes, I am using it.
Okay, so mark that off.
I will mark that off in a sec. Please. Okay, it's better than a nat 1.
That's true.
What is this? Persuasion?
Mm-hmm. Or deception.
Oh, deception, yes. I mean, still same thing, it's 8.
8. This is a security concern. Given that you're not telling me exactly where it came from, it either means that it has served your client's purpose, and you aren't willing to tell me who it belongs to, it has served your purpose, or you are simply being honest and do not wish to relinquish where this came from.
I am just being honest. I have no client. I didn't want to try and sneak back there to retrieve it if I wasn't the one that placed it there to begin with.
Understood. That makes sense to me. He he looks to the guard beside him. If you would be able to retrieve it, just flick the switch while looking at it. The guard otherwise nods, otherwise heads back. Thank you very much for your honesty. Did you acquire anything tonight?
Yes, I got 2 things.
What would your number be?
What was mine? 75?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 75.
Otherwise flips open their ledger, kind of has a look, runs their finger down. Yes, I will have both of those distributed straight to you.
Thank you.
You'll be able to acquire them as soon as the day is up. Just tell us where you would like it sent, and we will send them your way.
Firefly stacks, please.
Very well. The moments later, the guard comes back, kind of tosses and passes it to them. They have a look through. Good. There you are. Your orb, as you put it, has been retrieved. Hope we never find one there again. Thank you for the concern. We'll have.
Mine.
Yes. Well, thank you for your concern. We will have an augur scour our area and make sure everything is okay. Otherwise nods. Thank you very much. Turns and leaves, with the guard going with. As you turn back, you look back and you otherwise see the party. In the meantime, as you've otherwise been waiting for Kay, I assume, waiting for him to return, there is a moment where you watch as what looks to be 2 individuals in kind of this golden enameled breastplate, cloak and helmet, otherwise begin to make their way down the walkway once the crowds have begun to thin, to which you note watchmen, the 4 that are with you, begin to attempt to intercept. Is there anything you would like to do during this time? And I would say, Kay, you're currently noting this as you turn back to look at your friends.
I'm 100% putting the spyglass away, because, don't want them seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to try and blend in with the crowd.
Okay, so you're going to try and hide. The rest of you, you see what looks to be 2 of these individuals wearing bright golden outfits heading towards you. The watchmen are attempting to intercept.
I gotta let them do their job.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
to
will
put their
also.
work at detriment.
Yep, I'm going to stand back and see how this plays out to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make it clear. I'm just blending in with the crowd until I get up to them.
Okay, no, that's fair. So, I would like one of you to roll as if you are the watchman, please. Because I just rolled for each of them and rolled 2 nat 20s, so I obviously, they don't want me to roll. So if someone's willing to roll 1, and someone rolls for...
I'll roll one.
Who are you rolling for, Watchmen or Golden Crusaders?
We use Watchman, so I'll roll for Watchman.
Okay.
I will roll for the Golden Crusaders.
Okay,
Wait,
go
you gotta
ahead.
use Damian's die.
Ooh,
Damian's die are cursed.
Well,
No!
shit! Okay, well, Golden Crusaders got nat 20, while the Watchman got 2.
so the Watchmen, as they're trying to intercede, they otherwise kind of you watch as one of them kind of moves up, and the Golden Crusader kind of, in this instance, the younger one otherwise moves up and kind of stops and says, "These individuals are," and one of the Golden Crusaders just puts his hand on the boy's shoulder and just goes, "Get out the way," pushes them out the way before drawing their sword in this auction house, getting closer to you. I would like, at this point,
Fuck.
I would like you to choose. Do you want to roll for initiative and potentially defend yourselves in that manner, or do you have other plans? I will say you can discuss as a party real quick before we get down to business as it is.
How many
Okay, so
Crusaders are there?
There are 2 Golden Crusaders. You are aware that Golden Crusaders they tend to be quite powerful, and they ask for backup with the Watchmen, and this is currently happening. The others are currently stuck behind what looks to be a crowd that's forming, that's stopping seeing this happen.
okay, so if we fight back, they are absolutely going to treat us as poorly as possible. If we win, we're criminals and they'll hunt us down. If we lose, they're going to beat the shit out of us. At minimum, if not kill us. I hate to say it, I do think surrender is the best option here, unless the Watchmen have told us something else that's like what to do.
The Watchmen, in this instance, I would say, have told you that they will deal with it, that you guys are under their protection. So it's up to you what you want to do.
I believe in my friend that I have made.
Are we trying negotiating? Give them time to do their job? I don't think we should intervene here. Unless they actually strike first.
I think what I want to do is I want to raise my hands, simply say, there's no need for weaponry. We are here under the custody of the Watch. There's no reason for anything to get unpleasant. Does that seem to fit with everyone? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'll say, go, Romulus, go ahead.
Please
Actually,
don't
no, you
make
know
me
what?
roll
Here's what
charisma.
we're going to do. I am going to ask... I'm going to say in this instance, I'm going to look at everybody's charisma. I'm just going to add these up and then divide them by 5. So, Romulus has 9.
I'm
Jamie
so sorry.
has 15. Simon, you have that much. Sudz has that much. You have that much. So, 2 divided by that is 14. Okay. So, I would like Romulus to roll with a +2 bonus. I will say, actually, no, let's make it a +3 bonus because you have some people who are probably trained in persuasion in your party. 13.
It's as basic as you can get, really.
Okay. The 2 individuals who otherwise arrive, the Golden Crusaders, the one who's drawn their sword kind of immediately goes up and just points their sword right at the Adam's apple of your mouth, or throat rather.
The Adam's apple of my mouth, eh? That's
No.
What's that?
I
A uvula,
believe that's
maybe?
called the tongue.
Yes.
Ah,
They point it at kind of the base of your throat and otherwise hold their sword kind of pointedly there. In this particular instance, the individual behind them goes to begin drawing their sword. Saying this, you have stayed them for 1 attack, so I would like one more person to roll for the Watchman, rolling with advantage, and then I would
Someone that's not me. I'm cursed today.
and then somebody else to roll for the Golden Crusaders.
Can I? No, I don't want to.
I haven't rolled decent, so I'll roll for the Golden Crusaders.
I'll
I roll
roll
for
for
the
the Watchman.
Don't do that. I did that, and it fucked us.
Okay, so Kirv, you're
Come
rolling
on,
for
come
the
on, Honkmeister.
Watchman with advantage, and then Kat, you're rolling for the Golden Crusaders. 1 roll, please.
Please don't give me a good roll.
16, 17.
Ah!
Oh my goodness.
You try to
So,
apply the
how
laws
that
of
not
logic to
wrong?
chaos, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I forgot my
I
character.
told you. I told you. When you're rolling bad, you're rolling bad. It doesn't mean you're rolling low. It just means you're rolling bad for you.
Mhm. So, I will say, given the roll is so close in this instance, what do you wish to do? Do you wish to defend yourselves? Or would one of you like to roll on the encounter table and see what happens?
I believe in my friends. Encounter table. Let us go.
I don't believe in our friends because it very much feels like I'm about to get skewered in the throat. But you know, it is what it is.
Okay.
Anybody else?
If it's anything, I'm preparing to move my neck as far back as possible.
In this case, Kay doesn't do anything, but she's got a hand on her book, and as soon as she gets a chance, if they go to swing, she's going to cast Sentinel Ward on Romulus.
Okay. So you're going to be preparing in this. Okay, in this instance, they are going to... So, I will say, Kay, roll on the encounter table, and... Cat, roll me an initiative roll, as you will be the only one who is basically participating in combat here.
Wait, what dice am I rolling?
A d20,
D6?
please.
D20.
10.
3,
13.
A 19.
19. Okay. And Cat?
I got 13.
A 13.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to roll for the initiative for the Golden Crusaders. Okay.
No, how said it's only if they swing.
Yeah. As one of them begins to swing, you go to begin the incantation for the spell. You roll a lower initiative than them. As the swing goes in towards Romulus, this would be made with advantage. With the local interaction, I'm going to roll for the initiative of the other individual here. Okay, well, that's a natural 20. So, I would like the entire party to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh,
So the
I'm
guard
gonna roll the super curse
So
die.
the guard who isn't swinging fails, and the guard who swinging, the guard who isn't swinging succeeds, and the one who is swinging fails. Okay.
60. No, 6.
66.
66. Yep, that seems valid.
No, just the 6.
It's just the 6. Okay.
Wisdom save.
Can I use inspiration that I was given?
To reroll your wisdom save?
Oh, to reroll. Okay, it's only for a reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not, so you can go with advantage. Okay.
No,
well, that's
you
fine.
roll once and see what it is, and then you roll again afterwards if you don't like the roll.
Okay. But I have to keep the second one.
No, you can choose to keep the second one if you want to.
You keep the highest.
Yeah, you keep the highest of the two. It's convoluted advantage because you get to find out one of your rolls first.
Understood. I am going to use inspiration because I got an 11 and I want to try and do better.
Okay. This is a wisdom saving throw.
3 is not better.
So it'll be the 11. So what are the wisdom saving throws? Romulus?
The 6.
6. You are paralyzed. Vinny?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You are not paralyzed. Kay?
15.
You are paralyzed. Cat?
17.
17. You are paralyzed. Kirv with a...
16.
You are paralyzed. As this happens, there is a moment of... Glad you rolled high on the random encounters. I'll say, Kay, you notice this as you arrive and this begins to occur. You otherwise look back. Actually, no, who has the highest perception of the party? That would be Jamie. That would be Cat and Kirv. Well, not Cat and Kirv. Cat and Kay, sorry. As the two of you otherwise look back, you see what looks to be from the booth above, where the older lady was announced. You can see what looks to be a four-horned devilkin his hand otherwise stuck out, and you can see what looks to be these bright kind of burning runes running across his arm as he casts the equivalent of an 8th level hold person. Holding all of you and attempting to hold both of the Golden Crusaders in place, but one of the Golden Crusaders succeeds, as does Cat, was it?
No, Vinny.
Oh yes, Vinny got the dirty 20. So yes, you and one of the Crusaders is unaffected by this. As they post their hand out and cast that, there is a moment where they bring their hand in to almost this clenched fist, and all of those who are paralyzed are lifted 10 feet into the air. So Vinny, it is you and the other Golden Crusader who currently is caught off guard by this. The Watchman in this moment also caught off guard.
Okay. I'd like to say something to the Golden Crusader if it's possible.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to look him in the eye. Make a show of showing that I'm still not drawing my weapons and just say, is this really where you want to do this? You know how much money these people have, right?
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage. Okay, yeah, do I bother rolling? No. I got a 5. So, in this moment, as you say that, the individual who was kind of preparing to draw their sword kind of hesitates for a moment and stops. As the individual who otherwise stands there, their hand outheld, otherwise holding everybody in place for that particular moment, looks back to one side where you see kind of the older orcish lady kind of step out, a walking cane in the crux of her hands as she otherwise looks down. What is the meaning of this? There's a pause as the Watchman otherwise look towards the Golden Crusader who's not paralyzed, who then looks at you, Vinny.
I'm going to look over to her. I'm terribly sorry, my lady. Some people have no manners.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage, I'll say. The rest of you are currently all suspended in air still.
This is the first time I've been flying. Don't like it.
Version, that's 24.
24, okay. Indeed. Put down the ones which aren't the Golden Crusader and pick up the other one that is. There's a moment of pause as your friends are all let back down to the ground, where you are then kind of released from the spell as the other Golden Crusader is lifted up. I've got to see if he makes a save first. No, not this time. As he's lifted up. Watchman, are these individuals under your care? Aye, lady, they are. We found them innocent of what happened, but the house has otherwise hired too much information. You may go. We will deal with them. And you are free to leave.
Okay, gives her a little bow.
Okay.
Just turn around, thank you, and just plod on.
Okay. Do any of you stay to watch?
I am 100% watching where nobody can see me.
Make me a
I
stealth
want to
check.
know what happens.
I am going to give a brief look over my shoulder just to see if I can see them bringing him out the wicker chair with no seat.
Okay, go ahead and make. Oh, I got the reference. Good job. Make me a perception check with disadvantage, please, Vinny. And Kay, what's your total?
That's a 25.
25. Okay, you hide behind one of the seats quite successfully. So.
Did you say this was Demonkin? Sorry, did you say this person was Demonkin?
The mage is Devilkin. Yes, 4 horns,
Devilkin.
4 horns, which you, Kirv, would more actively recognize more so than Vinny, is a symbol of nobility in the 7 hells.
Do I recognize them?
I'd say no. You wouldn't recognize them, but this 4 horns is a symbol of nobility. 6 is a sign of lordship.
Okay. Kirv does a bow as well.
Okay. So, Vinny, what was the total?
With disadvantage, that's a 6.
No, I'm afraid not. As you otherwise go to look over your shoulder, the watchman kind of hurriedly move you out of the way, and the curtains fall, leaving Kay alone in the room as you watch the individual who otherwise has the spell out held releases it, as you watch as the two of them drop to the ground. So, what is the Golden Crusaders interrupting? Granted, the end of my auction, but interrupting it nonetheless. These individuals are fugitives. We're currently hunting them for the murder of one of the noble folk above. And which noble folk would that be? The Brew family. I'm sure you know of them. Yes, I am aware. I am also aware that they are of a darker lineage than you might intend. You sell your cloaks by otherwise working for them. Money is money. I do what I'm told. You're simply going to let them leave after being here? I intend to. What else do you know of them? They pause for a moment as if almost caught off guard by the question. Not going to answer? We're not obliged to. Very well. And you watch she snaps her fingers. This is just Kay seeing this, notably. As the individual stretches out their hand and you watch as the runes flare up once again, and you watch as the individuals lift. Roll for them. Nope. As you watch as a spectral form of their body is pulled from their physicality and enters what looks to be two crystals that are held up in the other hand of the individual. And you hear the bodies clank to the ground with a thud, still and motionless. Thank you. Dispose of the bodies, if you will. And you watch as the individual nods and steps over the edge of the railing, and you watch as these 4 crimson wings spread from their back as they fly overhead, landing with almost this kind of almost air-splitting flutter as they shoot down and land next to the bodies. And as they do, kind of placing their hand over top, you watch as a magic which you're otherwise unfamiliar with encases them and pulls them up into a scroll of paper, which they then flip and tuck into the inside of their jacket. At this point, they look around the room. What was your stealth total again?
25.
25. You know that they look around the room, but miss seeing you.
Do I get an understanding can I try and get an understanding of if they would have seen me, if they would have killed me or not?
Roll me an insight check.
I think I know where this is going.
17.
17. So far, you have seen them follow the orders of the person above who has not shown mercy. The individual in question has cast magic that you are unaware of and has effectively killed 2 individuals who are very powerful mercenaries. You imagine one unknown person might be quite happily taken from this world without being noticed.
Okay. I was just curious. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for them to leave so that there's no chance of me being caught.
Okay. There is a moment of pause as the individual kind of steps up onto one of the seats and disappears up, fluttering up to where the balcony would be, taking one cursory look back, almost as if unnerved by something, and then stepping out back into the off of the balcony, hidden away by the curtains.
They are out of sight. Yeah, I'm leaving.
Okay. You leave, quite easily so, kind of scurrying down the stairs with speed, and otherwise arriving at the main desk. The last one to enter the lobby, but you're not barred from the lobby by any means as you enter into it. The rest of your party is there. The watchmen are currently standing guard and look back as as you can see the youngest one is otherwise kind of cradling what looks to be a kind of a section of bruise on the side of their cheek, where they must have hit something when being pushed to one side.
Yes, they are. That is a problem. They're just dropping it on top of it. All right, I think I fixed it. I still didn't know underneath it.
So,
And now, when I mine this,
what do you do,
they drop
party?
all the endstone into the actual hoppers. And it should
We should leave.
down here.
Leave immediately. Go work on my carving and try and forget about all the terrible, everything terrible about this place.
Mm-hmm.
You can't cook. There's terrible murdery tieflings going around. Not tieflings, devilkin, fiendkin, whatever the fuck they're called.
Mm-hmm.
There's thieves and just shite people. Oh no! I'm going to carve my wood. I'm going to send it to the investigator, and either seduce him or piss him off royally. Either way, I win, and and then we are going to leave. We are going to go to that abandoned giant castle fortressy thing, and we're going to have a lovely time. Not being here.
I just remembered that I do have to talk to somebody about my items because they know where to send them, but they don't know who they're
Fucker of
sending them
mothers.
to.
Oh, you do, because you would have given your name when you got your number. So, you
Oh
hand,
yeah.
yeah, you hand back your card. It's already noted down and mentioned that they're going to send them on, and they'll send them to the Firefly stacks.
Good.
So,
I think I have a bit of a crush on that devilkin.
We're just
Uh,
as a party of just really are horny, aren't we?
I'm just as we're walking back, or walking to wherever the hell we're going. I am going to enlighten everybody, including the watchmen who are with us, that there may be more problems considering that the 2 Golden Crusaders are dead.
Yeah, we're going to get blamed for that, aren't we?
Most likely.
the watchmen otherwise look back at you as you mention this, and they go, "No, she'll be taking care of that. Golden Crusaders will get an earful for interrupting it, and the individuals who are there will have to be paid ransom for."
Oh, so they're not dead.
Not fully. This is where we'll get into the difficult part of the law. Anybody who enters into the auction house knows full well that her guards will be the one in control. If anybody intervenes or causes any trouble, she'll be the one that they have to go through. And if at the end of the day somebody causes trouble, that person's family will have to be the ones paying the price.
Really glad I didn't try to rob that place.
You were planning on robbing it?
I didn't do it. What do you care?
They're the watchmen. They're supposed to care.
What crime has been committed other than those guys that tried to kill us?
Okay, fair.
And that's hardly my fault.
No, that is true. I'm more the fact that you said that you were considering stealing from that place.
I didn't technically
Weren't
say
you?
that.
No. We're here to uphold the law and help where we can. We're not here to steal, especially not from her.
This is why we're constantly in
Well,
trouble.
On that last part, I
Technically-
certainly agree with you.
Yes, from her. Yes, from the others, maybe.
I'm in trouble.
Why are you in trouble?
I'm just in trouble. This party are going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, they are. If you want, we have... I don't know.
Child Protective Services, I guess.
I mean, if you want, you can always apply at the academy and stay there instead of travelling with this lot.
No, that would come with even more trouble.
She'd miss her 2 dads.
The thing is, hopefully...
2?
I
Who's the
picked up
second?
Vinny.
Well, I mean,
That one.
He's run off. Well, how
No,
many dads have
no.
I got now?
No, it's
It's
very
2.
simple. I'm Dad 1. Vinny is Dad 3. Damian is Uncle Damian.
Oh,
Weird cousin Infernal. I've genuinely forgotten it. Lloyd, that's it. Weird cousin the Lloyd. Then there's whatever the hell K is. Kirv is cool older weirdo, and
I'm not even family.
she's like an older sister.
no,
at
cool
least
older
you-
weirdo. That fits.
At least you have something. I have nothing. I'm
no,
just
you-
whatever I
you-
am.
You have us, and
You have us.
you are our special little K.
You
See?
are.
See?
You are okay.
Our
You
mascot.
know what? You know what? I hate to say it. I think. Okay, in like this being a weird 80s to 90s sitcom, you're the weird mascot character that like became a fan favorite that has no reasonable explanation. You're Alf.
Oh, I know this. When I was younger, I read a book called Dungeons Inc. They used to go around solving dungeons, and they had the little pet with them that used to be the mascot. I can't remember what the animal was, but K's our mascot.
You know what? I'm debating stealing from every single one of you. Especially your food. Pointing to Romulus.
I thought I was being quite pleasant. You are an
I am mascot.
You are an integral part of our social relationship dynamic, and I consider you to be part of this strange, fucked up family.
Yeah, they're broken, but they're my family. Well, the closest I've got to a family. and I
Also,
love them
what
all.
do you consider yourself, family member wise?
Well, let's see. Like the
It's
head
hard,
of the
isn't it?
family. The head of the family, because I am the brains of the operation. Remember?
I throw Sudz off the fucking off the fucking island. It's gone. Go, leave.
In my experience, the brains of the family is very rarely the head of the operation.
It's true.
Hey, look, I have the money.
It's true.
We've got it. Got it. Great Grandpa K.
He's the godfather.
But I'm the youngest of everybody.
Are you younger than Cat?
Yes.
It's 2.
Oh God. Oh,
I'm
that's
2.
so much. Oh my
Wait, how
God,
old
you're
is-
Stewie Griffin.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he is. Oh no.
Oh fuck!
Oh no. First we had everybody as part of the Scooby-Doo gang, and now we're gonna have to get everybody sorted from Family Guy. Oh no.
That's going to be a problem.
Damien is
I've
Meg.
never seen that show.
No, I haven't really either. I know
I've
some
watched
things
Damian
it
is
a
about
Meg.
it.
couple of times.
I think objectively, Romulus is the giant chicken guy.
I was just going to stick with the family and Family Guy, but okay.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay. In that
Damian is
case,
Meg.
Vinny is Lois.
We'll deal with this outside of the session, I think. So, for those watching, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see where the party goes next time. I think next we'll skip straight to the Magic Tournament and then progress therein. So,
Damian is Meg.
yes.
Yes.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Yes.
Bye.
Hi.